Hello, it's Tom Donald from the London Contemporary School of Piano. Today I'm going to help you if you're returning back at the piano after a break. Now, some of you've had a break for a couple of years, some of you might have had a break for a couple of months, some of you a couple of weeks, but you're all feeling rather similar about this. You're feeling like, oh no, I haven't played for a while. Where do I start? What do I do? It all gets a little bit demoralizing, and then you put it off even more. You might have got back into piano after a while and then you've stopped. You've gone on that long holiday, or work has got in the way of your life, whatever. I've heard all of the reasons before. Look, the first thing I want to tell you is don't panic. I mean, the first thing people do is they just sort of tense up if they haven't played for a while. They're like, oh my gosh, they sit at the piano and they're sort of just lost. And I've put together a series of just practice routines for students that are getting back at the piano after a little while. They haven't played for a while. They've missed practice for a few weeks. They've missed for a few months. It's more so for those students. If you are returning to the piano after a very, very long time, I'll also have some tips for you a bit later on in this video. And if you're a fan of our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, go to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, to get the free resources kit to help you return back to the piano, because we've got many great bits of material that is just going to really help you and support your work. Now, there is the famous, Nike saying, just do it. Like, it's true. Just do it. Just play. Stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about what should I do, or maybe I have to do this or that. And so I'm just going to give you some routines that you can get stuck into. If you don't know all of these things, just do some of them. So scales, just a nice way to warm up the fingers, get the connection between the brain and the fingers. And even if you do play piano regularly, this is actually a really good way. You should practice your scales anyway. I always like the idea of getting all of the scales, all of the major scales in one sitting, rather than just focusing on 2 or 3 scales and getting lost in that. And so a good way to do that is just to play 1 octave scales only. Now you can do this hands separately if you're not ready to put them hands together, or you can do it hands together. Entirely up to you, however you want to do it. So we're going to actually play all of the major scales. We're not going to play any minor scales, just major scales. And then we're going to head up the keyboard in semitones. So we cover all 12 keys. I'll start just with the right hand, just to keep things nice and simple. Not too fast. Just getting a nice, even tone out of the fingers. Now, D flat major. D major. E flat major. E major. F major. F sharp major. G major. A flat major. A major. B flat major. B major. See, I just went through all of them. Now, I know some of you might not be familiar with all 12 scales. You'll have to assess where you're up to. But if you can get to all 12 scales, and the key thing with my strategy there was I just kept to 1 octave, so I didn't get bogged down into fingering. So if some of you are still struggling with fingering, that's just a quick way to get back into piano. You're only covering the octave. The octave coverage is very accessible, and you can get through more keys in one sitting because you're not getting lost playing multiple octaves. However, if you are a more experienced player and you haven't played for a while and you're comfortable doing that exercise in 2 octaves, you can go through all 12 keys in 2 octaves, or you can go 2 octaves hands together. So make a decision what you're going to exactly do with those 12 keys. Are you just going to go 1 octave? Are you going to go hands together? Are you going to go hands separately? Or are you going to do 2 octaves? And you can work it up over a week of just returning to practice every day. And that doesn't take too long. Now, advise, don't play the minor scales, just play the major scales, because that will just get you rooted back into the piano, just back into the shapes. And major really is our ultimate reference for that. And if you want, you can go a bit further. You can also practice all 12 major triads, like this. Just stepping up the piano, just to get those shapes back under your fingers again. Really important. So you can do that as well. And another thing you can do is what I call a micro scale, the 5-note scale with the 5 fingers. And you can do that as well. You could play the triad in the left hand and the micro scale in the right hand, like this. It's a bit like when singers warm up. Just to get those shapes back under your fingers again. All 12 keys. You see, what so many adult students do is when they haven't played piano for a while, they decide to go buy some book about playing piano and learn some new theory or something. No, don't learn any new theory. Just sit down and play. Play those scales that are right in front of those fingers. Just those 5-note micro scales. It's so, we don't want to have paralysis by analysis. And that's a problem that can happen if you haven't played for a while. We sort of keep putting it off by creating more analysis. Action is far more important than analysis in this situation. That's why you want to get back into playing piano again. Just play. And now we want to wake up the left hand. That's an important thing as well. So we could do those micro scales in the left hand as well, like this. Really useful. Wake up each of those 5 fingers, right? And the great thing about the micro scale is there's no specific fingering you have to use for different scales. It's the same fingering for each one. So it just allows you to actually use all of those fingers. So important. So it's simple but effective. It's really useful to get good at those simple things. And then you can play them hands together. You can play them with different articulations like staccato. That really helps wake up the fingers. And that's a great way to practice your scales if you're returning to piano. It's a great way to practice your scales in general, is play them staccato, which is that light or that bouncy touch. It doesn't even need to be light. It can be quite an accented staccato. And that really promotes finger independence. That sort of thing. I can do it hands together as well. Really useful way to practice. So some great techniques there, playing staccato scales and playing all 12 keys in one setting. Here's another really useful way we can revisit our scales after a period of time. And this is a slightly more advanced tip, but it's just a nice cycle. And I like cycles. I like patterns. They're just nice things to get into our routines and our habits. So this one's a little bit more advanced, but it's just one I quite like. So I just thought I'd share it with you. And I share this with my students as well. And again, if you head on over to our website, you can get our free resources kit, which covers all of these topics. So you've got some access to get yourself back into piano again. So what we're going to do here is we're going to transition between different scales. We're not just going to go up in semitones. We're going to go up in minor thirds and then drop a semitone, and we eventually get all 12 keys. So I'm just for the interest of time, I'm not going to go up and down. Otherwise, we'll be going on for a long time. I'm just going to play this going up in octaves and I won't even go back down. I just want to show you the pattern. And I might play the chord in the left hand just to support it. But you can do this in many different ways. So I can start on any point. I don't have to start on C, but I'll start on C just for the reference. So we've got C major. Now we're going to go up a minor third to E flat major. Then up another minor third to G flat major. Up another minor third to A major. Now we go down a semitone to A flat major. Up a minor third to B major. Up a minor third to D major. Down a semitone to D flat major. Up a minor third to E major. Up a minor third to G major. And up a minor third to B flat major. And I've played all 12 keys. So I'm basically going up minor thirds, down a semitone, minor thirds again, down a semitone, minor thirds again. And I end up with all 12 keys. Pretty cool. I just like nerdy sequences like that. You can write that one down if you want to add that one to your routine. What's nice about sequences like that is you have to pull out different keys, almost not at random, but in different contexts. So it teaches you to be flexible. And flexibility is really important. It gets the mind working again musically. So major scales, really, really good to return to if you haven't played piano for a while. Don't have to get lost in 4-octave scales. You can even just use those simple micro scales just to wake the fingers up and to wake the ears up. And it's just a simple thing, and it just gets you back into the swing of things. So, secondly, arpeggios. Arpeggios are so useful, and they are underrated, undertaught, underutilized. What is an arpeggio? It's a broken chord, effectively. I really should be doing more seminars on arpeggios. We do have a video on our YouTube channel on arpeggios, by the way, which you can click in the link below, because I've got a lot to say about arpeggios. But let's talk a bit about just a nice arpeggio exercise that's a bit like a sequence that gets us back into the swing of things. And I really like this one. It's not too taxing or demanding, and it sounds really good, and it gets us moving in the right way. So that's important. So we're going to play a second inversion arpeggio on a C. So we're going to get this then. That's the second inversion of C major, G, C, and E. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn it into an octave, and we're going to repeat the top note so we don't get into any awkward twists and turns, which I see so many students do when they play arpeggios. So this is like just a nice, fun arpeggio exercise that is also very productive. I'm just going to demonstrate this slowly. And we're going to do 4 octaves because I'm making the change nice and easy. We're going to do as many octaves as we can. I'm making the change easy because we repeat the note and we just simply move our hand. That is the key with arpeggios, by the way, is just move your hand. It's about moving the hand. It isn't about twisting and turning. No, we don't want any of that. And I've got a video on that on our channel, which you should watch. It will support this. So that's the sort of thing we're doing. Now, I'll try and make this even now. And you can use the pedal if you want to have a bit of fun with it. Sounds nice with the pedal, doesn't it? And then let's make it a C minor chord now in that shape. So that's quite nice. And then to add to the sequence, let's play a G suspended fourth. And then a G major. So let's do that whole sequence. C major. C minor. G suspended fourth. G major. And And we can put this into different keys. What about D major? Second inversion, D major. D minor. A suspended fourth. A major. What about D major? What about E major, actually? E major. E minor. B suspended fourth. B major. And what about F major? F minor. C suspended fourth. C major. I had a couple of slips there, and that's totally fine. You just practice them again. So I'm going to play that again and get that clean. And I'll go a little bit slower. F major. F minor. C suspended fourth. Had a little slip there. C suspended fourth. C major. Playing and talking at the same time. That's my excuse. It's really hard. But arpeggios are not easy at the best of times because you have to calculate where you're going. But that's a really powerful arpeggio exercise because it's comfortable enough to see the movements of the octaves, and it's a nice sounding chord progression. So it's a really nice sequence. So these are powerful templates to get you back into playing piano. The only problem is we've been doing arpeggios in the right hand, and we now need to do some arpeggios in the left hand. But I thought I'd give you some idiomatic arpeggios for the left hand. What I mean by idiomatic are arpeggios that really suit the piano. So often in so much piano repertoire, notes are left out of left-hand arpeggios. It's not just like this, because it's a bit muddy down in the bass. So a really effective arpeggio for the left hand is something like a fifth and an octave, and then the full arpeggio in the second octave. It's one of those things they don't teach at school that actually happens in a lot of pieces of music. So students will practice arpeggios for many, many years, and they're still struggling with their left-hand arpeggios because the context changes when they actually see arpeggios used by composers in pieces of music. So this is a really nice shape. And we're going to use the pedal. We're going to make this fun. We're going to put this on a chord progression. We'll just use a simple C, A minor, F major, G major. 1, 6, 4, 5. And I might chord out the right hand or improvise in the right hand on the C major scale. But the key is this left hand, getting a sense of chord progression in the left hand. Now, here are some great chord progressions to also just get you started on piano again. Just nice chord progressions. And head on over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, because many of those chord progressions that I'm about to play right now are in our resources kit. And you can start playing them with these arpeggios, or just play them in a really straightforward way like this. Just mixtures of major and minor chords. We'll add some arpeggios now. remove notes from that arpeggio to make it flow in different ways. In the fifth, just having the octave and then in the next octave. These are just effective ways to get your fingers moving, your brain connected, to get all the neurons firing and to get connected back at the instrument. They're simple exercises. They don't require huge amounts of theory or training. They're just there for you to get back into piano again. Remember, your brain remembers so much more than you might give yourself credit for. So if you stop playing piano for a little while and you need to return to it and it's been a while, don't stress about it. Just head on over to our website, get the free resources kit, and just enjoy playing. Get your fingers back on the keys again. That's what it's all about. Now, before I finish off, I actually did promise I'd have some suggestions for those of you who haven't played piano for a really long time, like many, many years, and you're getting back into it. Now, let me guess, if you are one of those students, there's probably a very good chance that you want to do things a bit differently this time. You don't want to have exactly the same sort of lessons you had when you were a kid. And what I suggest to all of our students across the world who have stopped playing piano for a while and are returning to it is that the 21st century piano student wants to play a little bit of everything. Let's face it, you want to play a bit of everything. You want to play a bit of your favorite songs in many different genres. You want to play a bit of classical, jazz, blues, popular, soundtrack. You've got a big bucket list. So how do we approach this? Well, we want to break our playing and our practice down into 4 pillars. So what are those 4 pillars? Those 4 pillars are chords. That's the first one. The ability to play chord progressions and really understand chords and harmony. And for so many of you who had lessons when you were younger, nothing was mentioned about chords in your musical journey. I know that is the case for so many of you. The second thing is rhythm and groove, bringing those chords together and bringing them to life with rhythm and groove. And we have programs for that. And the third is improvisation, the third pillar, improvisation and melody, how to get creative with our playing and play around with it a little bit more, not just play the score, but actually feel the music and play the music. And then the fourth pillar, probably the hardest one, is the arrangement and the integration of all of those parts. And we have a program, the Complete Musician Program. And regardless of where you're up to with your piano journey, the Complete Musician Program is a blueprint for the 21st century piano student. You can also head on over to our website to check out the Complete Musician Program, where we accept enrolments for different times of the year, where our support team are there to help you study and learn these things. It's a self-study program, but you've got access to our incredible team to help guide you along the way. So if you're interested in that and you like our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, you might want to think about that program as well. In the meantime, get back to playing, get back to practicing, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.